You better work.
911 emergency. Answer shot. Gianni Versace.
Known for his extravagant and daring clothes, Gianni Versace is one of the greatest fashion designers of all time. Ever since opening his first boutique in 1978, the name Versace has transformed into a word synonymous with opulence and style. Gianni's original vision of the fashion house continues to be the source that successfully evolves the brand throughout the decades. His impact in the industry is still felt, and his assassination is fashion's biggest tragedy. This is the murder of Gianni Versace. Gianni Versace was born December 2nd, 1946 in Reggio Calabria, Italy. He grew up with three siblings, Santo, Donatella, and Tina. His older sister Tina died from health problems at age 12. While his father had his own hardware shop, it was his mother's dressmaking business that would eventually shape the person he became. As a child, Gianni spent hours watching and following his mother around as she sewed, cut, and designed dresses for local customers. Growing up, the designer didn't do well in school and was an outcast because of his sexuality. But he found solace in his imagination and worked for his mother's dressmaking business before deciding to move to Milan as a freelance designer. He started out at the Italian fashion house of Gianni, and by age 25, he made a name for himself, designing for two other labels, Callahan and Complice. In the late 70s, after garnering attention for his work, Gianni recruited his brother Santo and sister Donatella for his own ready-to-wear collection. He took inspiration from his younger sister and debuted a line that shocked the fashion world for its provocative yet forward-thinking design. The collection ended up becoming a success, and soon he was named the Milanese Master of Fashion. When we think about Versace, we think about their legendary Medusa head logo. Gianni, who grew up in a part of southern Italy known as the Great Greece, started incorporating design from ancient Greek history during the late 80s. During this time as well, we saw not only vibrant and bold prints started popping up, but also pop culture references and scandalous cuts in his work. Today, Greco-Roman designs like the meander and sex appeal are two things synonymous with the brand's identity. By the early 90s, Versace was a household name in the industry, and nobody could resist their unique design. Everybody from Michael Jackson, Elton John, to Princess Diana were huge fans of the fashion house, and his fashion shows became exclusive A-list events. Gianni also helped the supermodels cement their place in pop culture, hiring them for practically all his fashion shows and campaigns. While on top of the fashion world, Gianni met and began dating model Antonio D'Amico. While the two were completely in love, Antonio did not get along with all the Versace family, especially with Donatella, which caused a rift between the siblings. While on a trip to Miami in 1991, Gianni found a place where he could escape from the family business. He quickly settled down in the area with his partner, buying a $3 million house that would later be infamously known as the Versace Mansion. Andrew Cunanan was an Italian Filipino-American born in California, United States. Growing up, he attended a very wealthy private school And in order to fit in, he was known to be a prolific liar, making up stories about his family and background. He began living his life as an openly gay man after dropping out of university at 19 years old. When his religious mother learned about his sexuality, the mother and son had an argument that became physical. Andrew reportedly threw his mother against the wall, dislocated her shoulder in the process. His father also fled to the Philippines to escape arrest for embezzlement. Andrew later relocated to the Castro district of San Francisco, one of the first gay neighborhoods in the United States. It's also said that he was involved in relationships with older wealthy men who helped fuel his desired lifestyle. One wealthy lover provided him with a $2,000 monthly allowance, a nice car, and vacations to places like New York City and the south of France. He finally was living the life he grew up lying about. But soon, all of that would come crashing down when he started to not get his way with people. As his life in California started to unravel, Andrew made plans to settle some business in Minnesota, where an old friend and ex-lover was living. He stayed with who he considered to be the love of his life, David Madsen. But the person who he was really after was Jeffrey Trail, a former Navy officer and a very old friend of Andrew. While Jeffrey was away with his boyfriend, Andrew managed to steal his gun from his apartment. He used the gun as bait, calling Jeffrey and telling him to come get it from him. Once Jeffrey arrived, he was beaten to death with a hammer and rolled up in a rug to rot. David Madsen watched it all happen and even stayed with Andrew after the murder. The police still doesn't know if he was a hostage or not. But later, his body was found near a lake with gunshot wounds to both his head and back. Andrew then traveled to Chicago and killed 72-year-old real estate developer Lee Miglin, whose son allegedly had a relationship with him. Andrew was later tracked down in New Jersey, where he killed a cemetery caretaker, William Reese, for his pickup truck. He used the truck to drive down to Florida as he became one of America's most wanted fugitives.
It has now been a week since Andrew Cunanan was identified as the prime suspect in the Minnesota murders of David Madsen and Jeffrey Trail. Since then, there have been two more bodies found, those of Chicago multimillionaire Lee Miglin, and Friday night in southern New Jersey, the body of a National Cemetery caretaker, William Reese. Reese was killed only for his truck, that he had no ties to Cunanan. Police say the two Minnesota victims had romantic ties to Cunanan. The Minnesota and Chicago killings also have common threads. The victims were tortured, and the killer calmly spent time with the victims' bodies, according to authorities. Police even say the killer even walked David Madsen's dog and ate ham sandwiches in Lee Miglin's home. And the big question remains,
where is Andrew Cunanan?
The day Gianni was assassinated started out like any other day. It was July 15, 1997. Gianni woke up and decided to take a walk down Ocean Drive for his daily paper. On his way back, he was shot and killed by Andrew Cunanan on the steps of his mansion. His murder was heard by the whole community. A witness even tried to chase down Andrew Cunanan but was unable to catch up to him. One of the first persons to see Gianni was his lover, Antonio. He said when he saw Gianni lying on the steps with blood around him, everything went dark to the point where he couldn't see anything anymore. Gianni was later pronounced dead at Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Millions around the world are in shock over the execution-style murder of designer Gianni Versace, shot to death at point-blank range on the steps of his Miami Beach villa.
Yes, the man's been shot. Please, immediately, please.
Okay, hold on. How did he get shot, sir?
I don't know. He was walking in front of his home. It's Gianni Versace.
The Italian designer was at the gate of his Miami Beach mansion this morning when a man in his 20s walked up to him, put a gun to his head and fired. Paramedics tried to revive him, but he'd been shot at point-blank range and had no chance. Investigators quickly recovered the clothes worn by the killer, who the FBI believes was this man, Andrew Cunanan.
Andrew avoided capture by hiding in plain sight and wouldn't be found until July 23, 1997, a whole week later. He shot himself with the same gun he used to kill his victims. He left no suicide notes, and his motive were never discovered. There are some theories and conspiracy that circulated though. It is alleged that Andrew thought he tested positive for HIV and wanted some sort of revenge, but if that was the case, it was for nothing because an autopsy revealed that he was actually HIV negative. Another popular conspiracy that went around was that the mafia had something to do with the death of Gianni Versace.
But there were those on both sides of the Atlantic who refused to accept this. Mysteriously, the killing bore the hallmarks of a professional assassination. 2 bullets to the back of the head, a dead bird found by the body. These are traditional symbols of a mafia hit. But the investigators dismissed such speculation.
The FBI also believed that Gianni and Andrew had met before, but wasn't sure about their relationship with one another.
This is the front of 1015 Folsom, what was then called Colossus. It was here a Los Angeles attorney partied with Cunanan on one of the same nights Versace was here. And that same Los Angeles attorney tells club promoter Gus Bean that Versace and Cunanan definitely met.
I'm told that Cunanan and Versace did meet at Colossus on September of 1990.
The attorney tells Extra Cunanan was overwhelmed at the meeting. Quote, he was really excited. He told me, I just met Gianni Versace. I can't believe it.
Everybody on the Versace side denied this information and said the two had never met.
And the tributes to Gianni Versace keep pouring in. It was a day of remembrance on Rodeo Drive. The house of Versace in Beverly Hills remained closed, the sidewalk shrouded with flowers, candles, and cards. The scene was the same in Rome, where Versace's close friend Naomi Campbell was scheduled to work this week. The supermodel shared her grief this morning on The Today Show.
He really loved what he did. He loved designing. He loved putting on great shows. He loved treating people generously. And he loved being happy and wanting people around him to be happy.
The assassination of Gianni Versace shook the whole world. His funeral was attended by more than 2,000 people that included Naomi Campbell, Elton John, and Princess Diana, as well as other supermodels, celebrities, and royals. In the aftermath, his family had to be moved to a secluded area because of all the media's attention. A couple months later in Rome, Versace supermodels gathered to pay tribute to the late designer on the Spanish steps. The 1997 VH1 Fashion Awards also honored Gianni Versace by showcasing his last couture collection. He left 50% of his company to his niece Allegra Versace, and the other percentage and things were spread out to other family members. Gianni's brother, Santo, became the CEO, and Donatella took over as the artistic director for the family brand, debuting her first haute couture collection 1 year later in 1998. While her first few years as the design head of the company started off rocky, she eventually brought Versace back on top of the fashion world. What happened to Gianni continues to be discussed and referenced. In 2018, the FX series American Crime Story dedicated their second season to the assassination of Gianni Versace. Articles, think pieces, and even YouTube videos are still being made talking about one of fashion's biggest tragedies. We may never know why Andrew Cunanan killed Gianni Versace, but the legacy Gianni created and left behind will always outshine what happened to him. His design, his vision, and his impact continues to influence modern-day fashion, and that is why he is still considered one of the greatest designers of all time. Well, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and comment your thoughts down below. Make sure to subscribe for more fashion related videos, and remember to keep living that fashion life.